Star Wars is one of my favorite expanded cinematic universe, and with that being said, I've watched through the movies and the shows more times than I want to admit. Now, what I decided to do for this unique tier list is rank all of the Rebel teams that I thought made big impacts as team efforts. To get some clarifications out of the way, I want to start by saying, first, I'm ranking the cinematic canon teams only. Second, the teams have to comprise of 3 or more, so it can't be any duos or buddy teams. 3, I'm not getting into every single team that's ever existed in the canon. I'm mostly going for the teams that I thought were the most impactful in the overall canon universe in the big media. So without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start off with an honorable mention. That is going to be C-3PO and R2-D2. Now, obviously, they're not a team of 3, so they're not making it on the list, but they're obviously such a big impact in the teamwork and the effort that they put in the entire Star Wars universe that they have to at least get some sort of acknowledgement. Honorable mention, S tier, I don't care. Get mad whatever you want. I'm breaking the rules right off the bat. Let's go. Going in chronological order, I'm starting with The Acolyte. Now, I've only seen this show once. Obviously, it's not the greatest show, and I'm not ranking any of these shows or movies by how much I liked it. I'm ranking it by how impactful the team was. Now, that being said, the team was not very impactful. I'm ranking the overall team that went to go find this Acolyte, this antagonist that they were talking about, and then, of course, that led them to getting completely murked. So, right off the bat, the team dropped from, I don't know, 8, all the way down to 2. As a unit, they looked dope. Matching outfits, matching fits, matching sneakers. It all looked amazing. Color coordinated their lightsabers. It was pretty great, looks wise. When it came to the battlefield, they dropped in one fight. It took one fight. Even some of the cooler characters that I thought, I want to see them down the road, immediately gone, done. Nada. That's it. So, they get stylish points, of course, but when it comes to what they actually attributed, dropping it in D. They didn't really make much of an impact at all. The only reason why they even have any points is because they looked good as a team. I mean, shoot, one look at them, you're like, oh, look at that team. I don't want to mess with them. Fast forward 10 seconds, changed my mind. All right, moving up in the timeline, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, young Anakin. You could throw in R2-D2 in there. He's kind of carrying a little bit. And then there's also Padme. Shoot, if you want to throw in Jar Jar in there, you can as well. I don't know if that helps or makes the team worse. You tell me. Now, of course, this was an uncanny team, unlikely. They weren't really going by guidelines and the rules. Very unconventional. Things were unfolding as time went on. Twists and turns. And, Qui-Gon got. Little Anakin, he carried, jumped on that battleship, taking out starfighters as a little boy. So that added points for sure. And, of course, Obi-Wan had to pull the clutch for the win at the end, while Padme and Jar Jar did their thing fighting all the other troops. Overall, it's a solid team. They weren't pulling big numbers, but, they were solid. They would stay solid. They dropped a star player, so that definitely lost points. Put them in B tier. They were good. They weren't all stars, but they weren't bad either. Solid team. All right, next, we got a solid trio now. Anakin, really training as a Jedi. We got Obi-Wan, and we got Padme. Now, this is a solid team. Again, there's a Clone War starting, and they are having to put on numbers. I mean, the 3 of them had to hold out until a battalion came of Jedis and clones to save them while they were in a gladiator ring. Now, of course, there were definitely points lost with Anakin trying to charge up on Count Dooku like that, dropping points immediately, lost Aura and his arm. Obi-Wan got caught from Dooku as well. That was a fail. Let's not forget when Padme falls out that ship. Aura lost. Once again, they're a solid team. The question is, are they a better team with Qui-Gon there and Anakin a little boy? Or are they losing a little points without Qui-Gon, even though Anakin's grown up a little bit and he's holding his own a little better? Sorry, but I have to say Qui-Gon was an all-star player. They dropped down behind Qui-Gon, still solid B tier. All right, we got one more trio, and that, of course, is Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka Tano. Now, this changes things. They are in an all-out Clone War. 2 Jedis and a Padawan in all-out war. They're pulling out all kinds of moves and tactics and strategies to beat one battle after next, and they go on for years doing this. This wasn't a team that just joined up for one movie length of a story and barely got out on a whim. No, they were putting up numbers for years on end. These 3 were carrying the Clone Wars, and that's a fact. Now, of course, The question is, do they go in A tier or do they go in S tier? When I come to that question, what I have to ask myself is, if all three of them turn to the dark side, are they taking over the galaxy? That's a yes. Just because of that, they gotta go S tier. Argue with me in the comments if you want. I got no problem. They are a strong trio. As far as I'm concerned, as a team, they're the big three of Star Wars. As individuals, the individual big three of all of Star Wars, that's a whole separate question. All right, up next, we got the Bad Batch. Now, this is a solid team. They're all clones, but they are different clones. They all got their unique perks. They all bring something different to the team. They all got their own issues. They all got their own pluses. They are a solid team. Now, I've seen the show. None of them are carrying a lightsaber, let's be honest. Already losing points for that. None of them got the Force, but they got strategy. They're putting up numbers. Of course, put them against Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, they're dropping in an instance, but they do gotta go up against regular Jedi maybe. They got strategy. They can surprise you. They didn't get their own spin-off show for no reason. They have a very effective leader, very effective strategist, the brute force, the tactician. They got the heart, they got the soul, they got the fight. They got it all. This is a clear A team. They're not the best of the best, but they're a solid team. They get things done. All right, next, we've got Andor's first team. What I consider the first time he really had to work with a group. This was a team, even though they didn't all get along, they didn't all trust each other. They had to work as a team to pull off one mission. Now, they pulled off this mission successfully, so you gotta give them credit for that. Doing a big heist in Ondali, they were robbing the Empire, stealing a bunch of credits. Simple job, but very risky for just a group of rebels. They put a lot of time, they put a lot of effort, they put the very little resources they had into the mission, and they pulled it off. Now, granted, basically everybody was gone by the end, unfortunate, but hey, a win's a win. A win's a win. Now, of course, with that being said, we're still comparing this team to some heavy hitters. We're comparing this team to a team that got Jedis. I don't see any of these people pulling off what Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme were doing. Again, they got their team done, and hey, that's better than what the Acolyte was putting up. So just by that logic, I gotta put them at C tier. Did better than the Acolyte's team, and the Acolyte team was full of Jedis. They are not on the level of Obi-Wan, Anakin, or Padme. Next, we're moving on to Ezra Bridger's team from the show Star Wars Rebels. Now, obviously, we got the core team, but I'm going to count Ahsoka as part of this team. Hey, you might not agree. Ahsoka wasn't a huge part of the team, but she was a big mastermind behind it all, let's be honest. And she came in clutch at times where she needed to be for the team. Now, aside from that, let's go through this team, because this team is packing. They got a Mandalorian. They got a Jedi that survived Order 66. They got a Padawan. They got an amazing pilot, a great droid, not better than R2, but I put him right up there with him. And they got a great alien sidekick. Not quite Chewbacca, but I'll put him up there with him. Even without Ahsoka Tano, this team is a solid team. Great team, in fact. They got a great mix, too. This is the team that got the members they need to be a well-rounded team. Let's be honest, how many animated shows do you know that did so well that they bring the whole cast into live action? Sorry, Kanan. A lot of people don't like this show, and that could be for the animation, or, maybe it's just a little too PG or whatever. I understand that. But if you really look at what they did, they hit the Empire hard. This team did more than most of the teams on this list, leading to the downfall of Darth Vader. A tier, top of the list, 100%. I'm not putting it at S tier because there's stronger groups. All right, this is where things get interesting. I enjoy talking about this next one. Rogue One. This is a team that, in my opinion, is very underrated. Why are they underrated? Well, because nobody survives at the end. But think about it. This team is a Suicide Squad, and they all know that going into their mission, and yet they pull it off. Think about all the other teams. Yeah, we might not make it, but hey, we have to try. We just have hope. Believe in the Force. Nah, this team was like, we ain't gonna make it. We doing this anyways. Now, this team might not be the most diverse cast, but hey, they got a cool droid. They got a blind man who got the Force but don't got the Force. They got a gunner. Let's be honest, they could have just given us a Wookiee in his place for the diversity, but hey, he did good enough. They got ex-Empire rebels. Hey, that's good enough for me. At least the team isn't as bland as Andor's first heist team. Now, of course, they really only pulled off one successful, huge mission, but hey, they did what probably almost no other team could have done. They were the ones to get it done. They put up big numbers regardless the odds against them. Now, of course, they didn't pull up numbers for years and years like Ezra's team did, but hey, they made an impact that is too strong to ignore. A, right in the middle. Alright, now we made it to what everyone's been waiting for. We got the OGs. We got Luke Skywalker and his team. I got two teams for Luke Skywalker. I got his first team when he was only a young boy. He just started out at this rebel thing. And then I got the opposite end when he's full-fledged Jedi and he's taking down the Empire once and for all. Let's start with the first. He got his mentor. He's got a feisty princess. He's got a smuggler. He's got Chewbacca, a veteran, let's not forget. And he got C-3PO and R2-D2 with him. Again, we got veterans in this group and the son of Darth Vader. That aura alone carries, and it shows in the movies. Now, of course, it took a minute for them to all work together as a team and really find the rhythm. None of them knew each other. They all had different opinions, but of course, in the end, they took down one of the biggest weapons in all of Star Wars history. Now look, Luke Skywalker, he's one of my top guys. Top 5 in Star Wars, of course. But as a team, let's be honest, Obi-Wan disappeared. They were arguing most of the time, and they just barely won at the end. This is where the hot takes start coming in. They were a good team, but they were not putting up numbers like the rest of the A tier. But again, they did enough to get into A tier. So I'm putting them at the bottom of A. But don't worry, it gets better, because now we're talking about Luke Skywalker's all-star team. We're talking about refined and prepared Luke Skywalker. And on top of that, we still got our veterans, R2-D2, Chewbacca, C-3PO. I also added Lando Calrissian in there too, because by this movie, he's definitely helping out. He's a team member for sure. They're taking out Boba Fett. They're taking out Jabba the Hutt. They're taking out Darth Vader. They're taking out the Emperor himself. Now, we cannot let bias get in the way. The aura that Luke Skywalker brought to the table would lead most people to put him at the top of S. But I'm not doing that. Let's be honest. Luke Skywalker got a great team, but putting him up against Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, they're not winning. Call it rage bait, but I'm standing my ground. Yeah, they took out 2 Death Stars now. Not really anyone else can do that, so they're up there. But the question is, do they belong in S tier, or do I just keep them in A tier? Who am I kidding? Of course they're in S tier, but I'm putting them behind the big 3. They're a great team, but let's not forget, no one was putting up the numbers that these 3 were putting up during their many years in the Clone Wars. Next, we got the Skeleton Crew. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a Star Wars fan, but this is the one thing I never finished. Not even because it's bad, I just wasn't getting into it. I'll go back and watch it one day. I watched a few episodes. It's very Goonies-like. They got that pirate theme, but let's be honest, it's a bunch of kids. They're not doing anything that any single other group I've listed so far has done. I don't want to be too harsh, they're a bunch of kids, but hey, even the adults that had to come in and carry them, at least from what I could tell before I stopped watching the show, they weren't gonna do too much. The diversity wasn't too bad, but the only character that really piqued my interest was the pirate werewolf. I don't think he's part of the team. But from what I can tell, they seem like a good team, but by default, they have to go behind everyone else because they're not going to do nearly as much as any other team has done. But I don't think they're a horrible team.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Okay. Before I put everyone in F tier, let's be logical. We are not ranking the movies. We're ranking the teams. And hey, do not click away. Here are my hot takes first before getting angry. Let's get into the sequel trilogy movies. We've got Rey and her first team. We got a droid in there. We got 2 droids in there. We got Chewbacca carrying, Han Solo carrying, Princess Leia, General Leia now carrying. Got a great star pilot. We got Finn, which in my opinion was the star of that movie, and he was the best character of the team. He carried for me. Then we've got Rey coming into the film for the first time, seeing the team for the first time. She's an interesting character, and she's capable. She gets things done. She's a scavenger. But let's be honest, this team was not putting up numbers. I mean, props to both Finn and Rey for standing up to the next Darth Vader. But let's be honest, Han Solo, gone. Chewbacca couldn't hit his shots. And Finn, they didn't make him anything more than a stormtrooper just without his suit on, let's be honest. And if he ended up getting Jedi powers, that would have been a whole nother thing. And BB-8, he's great. One of the most unique droids in their group, but he's not putting up numbers that R2 is putting up. He's got a great personality, sure, but shoot, R2 got a better personality. The team is all right, but they were not getting anything done. When I look back at it now, it does honestly feel like the things that they were able to accomplish in the movie was just purely based on plot armor, not based on them being a good team. What do you know? I guess I'm putting them at F. Look, if you're a sequel fan, that's fine. I watch the sequels too. But as a team, they're not doing it. Let's be honest. Change my mind in the comments below. All right, now it's just 3 teams with Rey and a few extra rebels added on each team. So this is gonna go by a little quicker. This is Rey's second movie. We got General Leia having to carry. We got a couple more rebels and Finn trying with all of his life to carry this movie, but he just has no Jedi powers. Let's be honest, even R2 barely struggled to keep up with this. This team wasn't anything outstanding. There wasn't any member added to the team to make them stronger than the first movie. I will say one positive is that they worked better together in this movie than the movie before, because now everyone's getting accustomed to each other and acquainted, and they are working more like rebels. But again, they weren't doing anything that felt like this is a team you wouldn't want to mess with. It pains me to say, but it does feel like the wins that they get is from plot armor, not from them being a great team. It's ahead of the last movie, but still not the best team. Let's finish this off with the Rise of Skywalker. Again, it's a group of rebels. I'd even consider throwing Kylo Ren in there as part of the team, because teams up with her at the end. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything that would help them with points this time. The rebels do work together better, and the rebels fighting against the First Order do really well. At this point, Finn is like, I don't even care if I die. I'm gonna carry this team to the best of my capabilities. They even throw in another little tiny droid into the team, which it doesn't really add anything to the team. Chewbacca's getting old and tired, you can just tell. But as a rebel team, they definitely improve. You throw Kylo Ren in there if you want to. I don't even care. That's up to you. I say if you do, that adds brownie points to the team overall. Just more firepower. Still, nothing great, putting them at the top of F.
Think I want some think give it to me, huh? Come on, do it. Lay it out right here, do it.
So that'll do it. That's my tier list ranking rebel teams in Star Wars. I didn't even get into the different teams that The Mandalorian was in, or the different clone trooper teams, which there's a lot of them. If you guys are interested in Mandalorian teams, because he's basically in a new team every episode, or the various different clone trooper teams, or things like that, let me know. I'll do a part 2. But thank you for listening to my takes. I know they're hot takes. That's what makes the conversation fun. I got more Marvel and Star Wars tier list videos coming out. Let me know what you want to see.